Hello, everyone. Yes, we have yet more catching up to do. This is a thing that we do. Indeed. No, Timu, there is not a 1.5 hour difference.
Well, there is, but
Uh,
in start time, technically, cruise ship starts in an hour and a half.
yes, but this is very, very unusual. I've run Sunday streaming way earlier than this, and I'm running this today since I was literally falling over sideways with tiredness yesterday. So, yeah.
But technically, his statement is currently not incorrect.
What about tomorrow? Tomorrow is tomorrow.
But there is a.
Ramblings tomorrow will exist regardless, whether or not it's the.
Shall we just?
It's a normal. Go. It's a normal ramblings or the Ship Shape Japan ramblings. I don't know. This is basically down to the fact that, like, for it to be a proper Ship Shape ramblings, I would need to basically have the ability to overrun. And given that I'll be working tomorrow day and the day after and the day after that, I don't have the capability to reliably overrun. So with that in mind, I couldn't really do tomorrow as the catch-up, not catch-up, sorry, as the ramblings for the, you know, you get the idea. You all know what I mean. The Japan trip, there we go. I know what I mean, kind of.
Alright, I'm just watching the trailers for EU5.
Like, when I acquire the money, I intend to get that, because EU5 do be a thing that exists.
Be done!
Oh boy, don't.
Sorry, Koi-Fish has a new video out.
Do not give this girl access to...
I can finally effectively get rid of the Danes. And French.
Anyway, so, without further ado, let's crack on. Where are we? Chandler asks, of the fleet of experiments, what ship was the most capable? Not asking if they were capable, but which of all those failures was the best one-off. Do you know, funnily enough, I've forgotten what the fleet of experiments actually is, and I looked this up. And does anyone remember what the fleet of experiments is? Because I forget.
I only can assume it's referring to the French.
I looked this up
on... in particular, I would assume it refers to, you know, where basically each one of the ship was had different specifications for it.
Yeah, I looked this up on Google and everything else, and I couldn't find any reference to a fleet of experiments in the period. So I probably best to come back to that another time.
I thought from what I'm aware, it's sometimes known, if it is referring to one, I think it's referring to the Patchwork Fleet, which is the French pre-Dreadnought period. That's the only link I can find.
Yeah, unless until I get an actual answer from Chandlord, I'm going to leave that to the wayside, and we'll answer that at some point in the future. Because unless I'm absolutely certain...
Yeah, they're referring to the weird Patchwork Fleet.
Yes,
is what
but
Wellesley is thinking.
Well, yes, but that's Wellesley, not Chandler. I'm going to wait for Chandler to get back to me on that. Channel Lord Chandle asks, if you had the chance to bring one ship forward to be a museum ship from Imperial Spain, which one would it be, and why is it Victoria? It's not Victoria at all in any way. It's a tie between Espania and Pelayo, the only Spanish pre-dreadnought and the lead ship of the only Spanish class of dreadnoughts. It ain't Victoria. It is a flat tie because I cannot choose between those two. Simple as. Also, I'd like to welcome the Mad American to the panel.
Oh, should I go grab a shotgun or something? Rack it?
You mad son of a bitch.
I can't really rack a shotgun. It's a semi-auto, but
Yeah.
it doesn't sound as good.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, I don't think anyone else has any opinion on that last question. So shall we move on?
No, not my period.
Yeah. Why are so your typical gunnery officer asks, why are aircraft flown by non-US nations? Why are US aircraft flown by non-US nations like the Brewster Buffalo, P-40, P-39, etc., flown better and had better performance in World War II than the US flyers? Do you think the pilots from these nations are better trained than the US pilots and had to make do with what they have, whilst US pilots are required to have more higher tech and faster aircraft do their job well? First of all, I am gonna completely shut down the latter part of that question. No, absolutely not. That is just not true at all. So the
Also,
it's not that simple.
I mean, the primary U.S. user of the Buffalo in World War II for the Americans was the Marine Corps, and the version they had was loaded down with armor, so it had worse performance than all of the other Buffaloes. So that's just step one. You have the worst plane.
Yeah. Basically, by the time the Americans are in the war and using those aircraft are already obsolete.
I would disagree.
Like the fleet.
All right.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Especially with a lot of aircraft like the Buffalo. They were excellent in Finnish service, and they did well in Chinese service. By the time the Americans were getting around to using them, there had been 1 to 2 years of combat. And the air forces that had been in combat and had learned the lessons of combat had better optimized aircraft and better optimized training systems.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. The P-40 and the P-39 were arguably peer opponents for stuff like the BF-109E and F. And depending on how they were flown, stuff like the KI-43 and the Zero.
And the P-40s did well against Oscars and early Model Zeros in China.
Yeah.
Flown by Americans, by the way.
Bear in mind, bear in mind the P-40s.
They were flown by Americans under the flag of the Chinese, the whole flying Chinese.
But they were still flown by Americans, so the question was American pilots.
Yeah,
they're still American pilots.
But I'm taking the American pilots as in pilots of the U.S. Air Force, the U.S. Marines, and the U.S. Navy.
Oh no, Foxo, thing is, this is the thing that everyone forgets. The Flying Tigers was a US...
Let her finish.
Fleet, but also Americans flew for the Finns.
The British. I think a couple Americans made it to Poland in 1939. We went everywhere.
Yeah, and especially when it comes to the Finns, the American pilots themselves do really well, especially because the standard of education they've got, when they're integrated into local air forces. The US Army Air Force and the US Navy doesn't have that advantage. So from a wartime combat perspective, for aircraft like the P-39, the P-40, the Buffalo, they are behind 2 years on the reality of warfighting.
They catch up pretty quick, though.
Fair enough.
They catch up pretty quick, which is why both I see the Mustangs and the P-47s doing so well when they catch up.
So we're saying that gunnery officer isn't right, but it's not as simple as it makes it out to be. Yeah. But also, the US has the capability to cycle those pilots and transfer those lessons real fucking quick.
We have a lot of people with a lot of planes, so we can find good planes and good pilots.
I wouldn't say necessarily cycling them quick, but you have the capability to cycle them. It's more, even if you are cycling them quick, I don't necessarily know if from what I am aware of the US Air Force and such, they didn't really learn the lessons that quickly.
Okay.
In terms
so
of from pilots cycling.
Some
learn it
branches did, some pirate branches didn't. Because the worst example of that is 8th Air Force.
Yeah.
And the boneheaded refusal to learn from the facts of on the ground and what their allies were doing.
And it's not even, and it's not even the British were better. It's just that U.S.
The
Air
British
Force,
had done that and learnt it didn't work the hard way.
but also politely,
Flying
the US,
during the day because we're fucking bullheaded bastards.
yeah, like it's look, if even Caboose, the Yeehaw America fuck yeah guy, is going, this is dumb, and like
Flying during the day for strategic bombing in a place where people have 128 millimeter flat guns is fucking stupid.
But also, Caboose, you'll admit, right, the fact that they basically could have had drop tanks on P-38s and P-47s in 1942, and it was literally stopped by the head of the 8th Air Force, you'll admit that's fucking dumb.
Bro, make plane go further. Have fighter fight enemy fighter around bomber. I don't understand why we can't figure that out. Like I'm really dumb. All right,
Bomber can defend itself.
That's a sub room temperature IQ people can figure that one out.
Yeah, and especially this is aimed at people like gunnery officer. Remember, Supreme had drop tanks for the Spitfires by early 41 because of a singular without to escort the bombers going over France. The issue is that one man delayed that for 2 years. And God knows how many Americans killed.
Ira Aker.
That motherfucker.
Fucking bastard.
No. This is in the RAF. That man is called Lee Bellend Mallory.
Fucking Mallory! That son of a bitch!
America has Ira Aker, yes. But that doesn't mean the other air forces were immune to it.
True. But anyway,
people like Lee Bellend Mallory.
Yeah, just to get back to it though, I mean, I'm just gonna say that, just to go back, the Brewster Buffalo had an active career fucking with a positive kill ratio with the Finnish Air Force until the Finns quitted the war in 44. The P-40 had a positive kill rate with American pilots over China from late 41. Bear in mind, the Flying Tigers weren't a thing until the US joined the war. This is a common misconception. The Flying Tigers weren't a thing until the US was actively involved in the war.
Yeah. Those other volunteer groups.
Yeah, and the P-39, like, for God's sake, if you want to talk about fucking aircraft, the P-39, I mean, yes, the US didn't use it that often, but when they did, they had the same experience with it the Russians and other forces did. That thing was a fucking ridiculous nonsense machine if you gave it a good pilot. That thing
Western Front, P-39, Pacific, P-39, yeah.
Eastern Front with the Russians, P-39. Jesus fucking
P-39
Christ.
was way too short range to do anything other than intercepting.
Eastern Front it wasn't really enjoyed.
Eastern Front, not a bad aircraft, suffers from a minor case of the Red Air Force.
P-60. Yeah. The Russians actually say, look, we like P-39, but can it have more range? And they literally built P-63 for them.
That sounds like something we would do. We kind of just build our way out of problems.
Yes, but you've also got to remember that the Finnish Buffaloes have a really weird track record when it comes to the continuation war.
What do you mean?
Because they... So are you aware of how the Red Air Force was organized?
Not exactly.
Basically, to deal with the Luftwaffe. So, the Northern Army that was fighting the Finns was lower down on the aircraft priority list.
Because they were fighting Finns and not, Germans.
Then the East Siberian Army. So that's where you see stuff like MiG-1s, MiG-3s.
I mean, MiG-1s and MiG-3s aren't
Maybe-
terrible. They're very maneuverable
No. The
Give me the
MiG-1 and the
Chaika.
MiG-3 take about 5 years to get useful. We're not talking
me-
good ones.
Give me the Chaika. I'll take my
Oh.
biplane with 20 mils.
Honestly, you know what? Honestly, Caboose is right. Give me an I-16 or an I-15 over a fucking MiG-1 or MiG-3. He's absolutely right.
Or 20mm cannons with like a half second ammo. I'll take it.
Yeah,
You can't
and
beat me in a turn fight.
Yes, Brandon Larson, yes, she did. Because we don't call it the Luftwaffe is the entirely correct term to make fun of them. That is entirely correct.
I've also got a
oh.
stutter.
Oh, yeah.
ADHD.
Call them
Okay,
whatever.
Duke of Payton, when Caboose is referring to the Chaika, he means the I-15 biplane. Specifically, he's talking about the I-15 with the 220 mils instead of the 4 rifle cavalry machine guns.
But they're 15 bits.
Yes.
A fun one.
Yes, the fun one. Right, anyway, so...
The only fun plane in War Thunder now.
do we have anything else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Fleet, you do understand why the combat capabilities of the Buffalo and the Finnish Air Force is not representative of the actual capabilities of the Buffalo.
No, I'm aware. Like they
Fighting way
had
worse planes and idiot Russian pilots.
And of course they had.
And I mean,
and of course they had.
By the light wars, stuff like BF-109Es are still effective on the Western Front. Sorry, Eastern Front.
Yeah, and I mean, let's not forget the fact that the Finns were using everything they could lay their hands on because they needed everything they could lay their hands on.
Also, Finns are just better Russians.
Yes.
And here's a reminder that in the continuation of 43, there was a grand total of 11 Hurricane versus Hurricane engagements.
Yes, it is hilarious that this occurred.
So who won, the Hurricane or the Hurricane? Just wondering.
Unfortunately, it was the Finnish ones because the Finns hadn't been able to get ammunition for the Besa 303s, so they had put they'd put the machine guns and cannons from the BF-109.
Oh,
nothing
Lord.
unfortunate about the Finns winning against the Russians. All right, the Finns only joined the Germans because
fortunate.
Russia bad.
Yes.
Yeah, I said
Oh, okay.
fortunate, not unfortunate.
Okay. I was like,
Right. Anyway,
because some people are like, "Oh, the Finns joined the Nazis." Like, no, they just
No.
fought the Russians.
No,
There's
like,
a difference.
like the Finn, like this is the thing. The Finns were co-belligerents, not allies to the Germans. That's the important difference. They were co-belligerents.
We're fighting the Russians, and the Germans are fighting the Russians. So the Germans are giving us stuff to fight the Russians.
Yes, but on the other hand, you can't deny some of the more
Careful.
I'm trying to think. The Finns. How to say this? They weren't Nazis, but at times they got close with some of the things they did. POWs.
I mean, you're fighting communists.
I mean, I'm going to disagree with that statement on a fundamental level.
Wait,
that's
I'm gonna show you how little we care about communists in the United States.
That's not
the 1964 Civil Rights Act that makes it illegal to discriminate has a cutout. You can still discriminate against communists.
Yes, but because I know I was reading up about why the Swedes didn't support the Finns in the continuation war, because that's an actual thing. And a part of the reason the Swedes didn't join was due to the treatment of POWs in the Finnish interior.
I don't feel bad. I know how Russians treat POWs.
Yeah, but it's
I don't care.
I understand.
I'm saying the Finns aren't. It's like the Finns were still fighting alongside the Nazis.
That's. I mean, I would. No. They were, yes, they were fighting alongside the Nazis, but they weren't in lockstep with them. It's an entirely different kettle of fish. Like, let's not conflate. Like one side.
No. Because we don't whitewash what the Romanians did, or the Bulgarians did, or the Hungarians did.
Well, the Bulgarians did fucking nothing. They just sat there in the Axis for like 4 years and then turned on the Germans at the first opportunity. Politely.
Yeah, whitewashing.
They didn't fucking do anything. They didn't commit troops to anywhere. They just sat in Bulgaria and did fuck all.
Okay, just ignore the Bulgarian occupations of Yugoslavia then.
Well, yeah, apart from that whole, yeah, well,
Yeah, but the Yugoslavians did horrible things to each other.
yeah,
There's like two genocides that came out of Yugoslavia.
Yeah, like
I mean, that was without outside involvement.
I think
It's
we can
like
all
the
agree
Bulgarian-
Yugoslavia is just fucked, and everyone involved in
Like
Yugoslavia is
the
fucked.
Bulgarian genocide in North Macedonia is
Yeesh.
still a highly contentious issue. So it's not. You can't say Bulgaria did nothing, and you can't whitewash them.
Well, I wasn't trying to whitewash their actions in terms of occupation. I was more referring to their offensive operations. You're absolutely right. They did do horrific shit in Yugoslavia. Let's not
And
sugarcoat
Greece.
that. Yeah, Bowman was right. Yeah, and the Greeks as well. But in terms of offensive operations, like, this is the thing with the Finns. The Finns did offensive operations to reclaim territory they had unjustly lost from, you know, that a imperialist power had occupied. They didn't conduct ethnic cleansing. They didn't conduct genocide. They didn't. They didn't.
Then don't ask about the Russian minority in Finland. Then, anyway, do we want to move on?
Yes. Timurganov's asked, in pre-World War II and World War II, which cruiser submarine class or cruiser submarine has the best design? Narwhal class, Surcouf, Italian Ettore, Fiera, Moscosa, and Canini class, Japanese A3, Type B1, or Soviet K class. It's a three-way tie. Narwhal, Surcouf, and the Soviet Ks.
The Gatos predate the war.
They're not. They're fleet boats, not cruiser subs.
Come on.
No,
It's the same thing.
no. The Gatos, the Balaus,
I
etc.
do love the fucking narwhal though.
Yeah, like the Narwhals, the Surcoufs, the Soviet Ks are definitively cruiser subs, and they are arguably the best three, and it is a three-way tie.
Okay, are we defining cruiser subs as the submarines with large caliber guns?
No, we're defining cruiser. Yeah, basically a gun larger than 5-inch, and in that case, then the Ks, the Narwhals, and the Surcoufs all fit that category.
Yeah, the Gatos don't.
Yeah, and also the Surcouf, the Narwhals, and the Ks are a step above the Gatos in terms of tonnage. Basically, basically out of the so Surcouf was arguably this is the reason I'm saying it's a three-way tie. The Ks saw a lot of war service and arguably were the largest class in terms of number of boats of cruiser subs ever built, and they did do a great deal of work for the Soviets in the Northern and Baltic fleets. The Narwhals were arguably the best cruiser submarines ever built, with 2 6-inch guns and 2 50-caliber machine guns, decent diving time, good maneuverability, seeing service throughout the Pacific War, and being exceptionally useful for putting parties of Marines in places the Japanese didn't want Marines to be.
Hoorah, Marine Raiders.
And Surcouf, she was arguably the finest single cruiser submarine ever built. For her size, she was ridiculously quick diving. She had trainable torpedo tubes aft, that twin 8-inch gun forward, which had a pretty decent range, basically making her immune to surface attack from single destroyers or escorts, because she could just literally turn around and blap them with a pair of 8-inch HE shells.
I still find it silly.
And of course, she has her float plane she can assemble if it's safe to do so, to do scouting. But there's only one of her. Of course, she was on her way to the Pacific under Free French Command to serve alongside the Americans in the Pacific Submarine Campaign under US Pacific Fleet Submarine Command, Sub-PACCOM. But she was lost, either to a Catalina false flag attack or being rammed by a merchant ship as she was transiting to the Panama Canal. We're not entirely sure what happened. But that's why it's a three-way tie. All three of those classes had distinguished careers during the Second World War. Sorry, two of them had distinguished careers, and one of them was flat-out best in class. But never got a chance to show what she could do. Had she reached the Pacific, I had no doubt she would have given the Japanese an absolute fucking hell. Like, I mean, with Japanese ASW being what it is. she would have given them absolute fucking hell.
Not really.
It would have been funny to hear stories about her fucking blapping like merchant shipping though.
Although she
Yeah.
no,
Just pop up,
she
fire an
would have
HE
been,
round into him and just throw him back
she would
under
have,
again.
she would have been basically seconded to the same things that Narwhal and Nautilus were doing, because she would have been a perfect fit for that. A good space for marine commandos and 8-inch shellfire to support landings on small islands. Fuck yeah.
She's also a bespoke submarine on the other side of the planet from her supply base. They can't get spare parts to her because that industrial base that made her has been occupied and looted for parts.
From what I understand, Sakooth, they had managed to smuggle out a set of spares and plans for spares, and there were plans set up. There were, because the US was so eager to add her to their small core of cruiser subs doing these clandestine bullshit operations. The US was willing to set up a supply of spares for her.
A US that's having issues supplying its submarines in theatre in the early part of the war. That US.
That's what they said.
The US that can't make a torpedo that works until 1944.
That's what they said.
At US. I get it. They said they could do it.
I mean, we could.
You look at the track record of the early submarine campaign, it's like...
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
Could we do it? Yes. Would she have good torpedoes? No. No, because they would just modify a Mark 14 for her, and it would not go well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long would the US actually keep her around being bespoke?
Yeah, I'm just going to quickly address something. Bomber Boy has said 400,321 Soviet citizens died in Finnish concentration camps. I will point out, this is the Finnish concentration camps were classical British-style concentration camps, aka...
They're still concentration camps!
AKA, they were places where you concentrated people, not death camps.
I mean, we put the Japanese in concentration camps in World War II. Thanks, FDR.
I think we can both agree that that's not kosher.
No, it's not. I hate FDR. I really hate FDR.
When the British did it to the Boers, it was not kosher. When the French did it to the Algerians, it was not kosher. When the Japanese did it to Allied POWs, it was not kosher. When the Soviets did it to the German Wehrmacht troops and civilians post-war, it was not kosher. So, the fact the Finns do it doesn't make it kosher.
But yes,
concentration camps.
Yes, but when people say concentration camps, they always think of the death camps, which is not the same.
Camps, not just like prison camps.
But when you've been central Finland,
that's chilly.
Anyway,
I mean, central Finland's still not nearly as bad as some of the gulags.
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah, but
Chandler
it's very easy to freeze to death.
Yeah.
Easy to freeze to death everywhere in Russia.
Yeah, but anyway, it's all not kosher. Chandler.
It might be halal though.
God damn it, man. Chandler, may I speak? I mean, all right, you are a Finn. I'll let you. I'll give you 5 minutes to speak.
Well, thank you, Fleet. Yeah. We did have camps where we had Russian civilians and separate Russian soldiers, but they were somewhat well kept and they were not what the Nazis had. Plus, there were interactions between the civilians and the Russian soldiers, and hence they are some people here living in this day, although they are elderly now, that are descended of those relationships. But basically, we did better, but as Foxo said, it wasn't kosher, but it's a thing that had to be done. We'd have to somewhat contain those people, and we tried to do our best.
I wish you could have put the camps further south, where it wasn't so freezing.
It doesn't matter, it's Finland.
It doesn't matter, but if they would be more south, they would be subjected to easier ways to escape. Hence, they were middle of the Finland, so the length of the journey would be long and difficult. So there are logical reasons for those camps to be located in the central regions of Finland. And in terms of coldness, yeah, it is, but it's basically the same in the Nordics anyway. So I think that's about it. So, now you can kick me out of this channel.
Roger, Roger. Leo, there we go. Yep. Right, next question. Yes. Hello?
We brought me in here because I'm funny. Turns out it just turned into a gangbang. Oof.
Lee hasn't pissed off, has he? Please don't.
I don't know. Did some fucking kid throw fucking rocks at the Transformer again and take out his power? Because that's what happened last time he crashed out on us.
My country's
Right.
a joke, both of them.
Right. Anyway, so
There he is.
Chandler, what Age of Sail Admiral would make the best destroyer flotilla commander? Nelson? No, I'm sorry. Nelson and John Soule, because John Soule was literally the French admiral that was too angry to die. When he heard Villeneuve had broken off the engagement at Trafalgar, he had to be physically stopped by his crew from diving over the side of his first rate to swim over to the French flagship and challenge Villeneuve to a duel.
Can you just imagine those two with Arleigh Burke?
Like, seriously, like, the French admiral, like, literally, there was a meme that was made in the dry dock, literally, French admiral too angry to die.
Just imagine the two of them plus Arleigh Burke.
Yeah, but, like, in terms of
I
best
mean, I
destroyer
think you're
flotilla...
both wrong.
Okay.
And I know he's kind of mythologized, and so you'll inherently be against him, but John Paul Jones...
No, I was literally thinking that. I was literally thinking that. No, Foxo, you're wrong. I absolutely agree. I absolutely fucking agree. Better yet, no.
Give John Paul Jones a tribal in the Mediterranean and tell him, stop the Italians getting to Libya.
I'm sorry, no.
Give John Paul Jones Taffy 3.
Yeah,
Yamato would have sank.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. No, lads and lass, you're forgetting the best thing about this. Give John Paul Jones command of an MPT, either an Elco in the Philippines or a fucking British motor gunboat in the fucking Channel, and watch him go absolutely hog wild on the Japanese and the Germans respectively.
Give him command of all the Elcos in the Philippines at the start of the war, and Japanese wouldn't have taken the Philippines, and John Paul Jones would have had a fleet of destroyers and cruisers because he would have stole them all.
Yes, he would have. Right. Okay. Typical gunner officer, do you think the T-54-55 and the Centurion tank are the best MBTs on the Vietnam battlefield? Do you think the M48 Patton tanks are mediocre at best in terms of their performance in Vietnam? I think it's a three-way tie. And the reason
M48s are okay.
And the reason I think this is because, yeah, none of those vehicles by the late 60s are first rate. They're all equivalent. They are all equivalent.
He's talking about Korea, but
no, he's talking about Vietnam. He's talking about Vietnam.
I mean, in Vietnam, it was Centurions and M48s versus PT-76s.
Yeah, when he says
and there were some T-55s as well.
The T-55s only come in when the Vietnamese army commits, and that's after the US has left. The T-55s only come in
post Treaty of Paris.
Yeah.
Okay, because I can tell you for one, the Aussie Centurion's the best tank there.
I would.
There's an Australian in it.
No.
No. Okay, are you aware of the modifications the Australians made to the Centurion?
Yeah, no, I will absolutely agree with that.
They redid the ventilation system, and they basically heavily modified it to operate in tropical environments. The Australian ones.
Did they have 105? Were those Aussies? Did those Aussie Centurions have 105?
Mixture.
Well, yeah. If basically the any Aussie Centurion that has those mods plus 105 is the best tank on the Vietnam battlefield. If it has, if it has those mods plus a 20 pounder, then I think it's a tie with M48 because M48 got similar mods.
It's not. The gun doesn't matter. Both guns will put holes in pretty much anything. The Viet Cong.
Oh no!
The that can bring
Oh no, it's
Viet Cong or Vietnamese army.
Oh no,
in
it's
quotation marks.
Oh no, it's not
So
about
the thing is yeah, but the ventilation system, the ceilings on the Centurions, they had a different set of tracks that was designed for tropical environments. The bottom of the hulls were watertight, so it could fjord wet areas properly. The M48s didn't have that.
I'd argue, honestly, in terms of that, I would say it's a tie not between any of the tanks mentioned and the Centurion Aussies. I'd reckon it's the fucking a tie between the Centurion Aussies and the PT-76s. If we're talking about that, because quite frankly, the anti-armor roll does not fucking matter. It's your ability to throw a HE shell and get to places where you can throw the HE shell. And in that particular case, the Centurion with its fording capability and the PT-76 with its amphibious capability are what matters more. And honestly, both of them can get where they need to be. Both of them have a useful HE shell they can use. And so, quite frankly, both of them are arguably the best tanks in theater.
No.
Best
tank in theater is the Sheridan.
I mean, okay, 152 HE does fucking make a big bang, I'm not gonna lie.
It can go anywhere, because it weighs nothing. It can ford because it weighs nothing.
True.
It has the biggest HE shell outside of fucking Daisy Cutter in the entire theater.
And I will point...
However, there is a 1 in 30 chance the gun blows up.
That is a point.
Don't worry about it.
I mean, arguably,
don't worry about it.
I mean, arguably, if this is a criteria, the best tank in theater is fucking World War II era American 105s that can be lifted by Chinook, because they can fucking be moved anywhere.
The Sheridan can be moved anywhere by a Chinook.
Yeah, but it's got a chance of blowing up.
Yeah,
don't worry about it. It's fine. Sheridan's the best tank in theater. I love that thing.
The Sheridan is a scout marine with a plasma rifle.
Yes, awesome. You're not gonna convince me otherwise. That's fantastic.
Anyway, okay.
And then post rebuilds when they fix the Shillelagh gun launcher, it becomes a Dark Angel scout marine.
Yeah, they never fixed the Shillelagh though. They just abandoned it.
They did fix the HE round though.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
and make a conventional heat round for it.
Yeah, Shillelagh.
That's a big heat round.
Yeah, Shillelagh with
The U.S. Army decided that having a tube launch ATGM is stupid when your tank is being chased around by Bradleys that have ATGMs already.
Yeah. Well. Bear in mind, this is after the whole thing with abandoning.
Like, they're trying to do this, and they went, you know what? Yeah, the infantry's gonna be riding around in this new vehicle we're designing, and it's got 2 anti-tank missiles that are just mounted on the side of it. Why the fuck are we trying to put this in the barrel and like reducing our ammo capacity? Fuck this.
Also, I just need to correct Bowmeal Boy here a second. Right, what we call the phony war wasn't a phony war, and there was a lot of fighting going on the Western Front. It's just people forget that there was a lot of fighting and dying in the phony war because it's not one of the massive movements that get famous. Because quite frankly, who gives a shit about Wave 19 of Frenchmen trying to breach the Westfall?
Yeah. Anyway, right.
Didn't work.
So,
and in Wave 20.
So, folks, I have actually looked this up. Unfortunately, the only information I could find on it was in $1995, but I do actually have the information for the next question. So, if anyone can convert to 1936 dollars, I would be very grateful. But I have the information in 1995 US dollars. So, the rich Macedonian is finally back. The year is 1936, and he's decided to fund the construction of a massive new fleet for Chile. He gives them 10% of them.
What's the dates? Sorry.
The year is 1936, and he has decided. Sorry, Admiral Wellesley asks, the rich Macedonian is back. The year is 1936.
Any dates?
Would you let me?
I've got an inflation calculator up. I just need what's the end date? Are we talking modern dollars or $1991, like you said?
$1995, and I need I need it converting to $1936.
Yep.
But look, we'll get to that in a minute. So, the rich Macedonian is back. The year is 1936, and he has now decided to fund the construction of a massive new fleet for Chile. He gives them 10% of their 1936 GDP to spend. Do what you want. So, the Chilean GDP in 1936, in millions of US dollars 1995, is it's $14,372 million in US 1995 dollars.
14,375,000
million, yeah. 14,372,000 million US dollars.
That's 14,372,000, not million again at the end. It would be like $1.3 billion equivalent.
Hang on, I'll take a screenshot of it.
Oh.
1 second. I'll take a screenshot.
The money that their GDP is in 1936 dollars is 1.3 million.
I'll put it in Ramblings text. There you go. So that's so you just need the 1936. There you go. That's the thing.
36.
Yeah.
So how much did you say it was?
Is that million or would that be million or billion dollars for GDP? Since it's a million on there.
Because
I think it's 14 billion.
Yeah, because it's 14,372 million. Sorry, so it's yeah, because it's 14,000.
14 billion. In that money, it would be 1.3 billion dollars. In 1936. Reverse inflation calculator.
Yep. So he would have about 15.8 million
15 points
to deal with.
So is that 10%
No.
of the GDP? Because whatever the figure in 36 is in that dollars, it's 10% of that.
It'd be 1.3 billion dollars in GDP.
So
yeah,
then
I'm
we
getting
need
1.5. But
okay, so we need 10% of that, and that's the figure we've got to work with.
Too much math.
Dude, I don't math in public.
Yeah, for good reason.
At least the inflation calculator is easy. You're like, oh, it's fucking 1995 money? Cool. All right, 1936 money, enter dollars.
Okay, that's
Figure
fine.
it out.
Okay, that's fine. Then enter
Computer did the math for me.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Then just divide. Then just divide whatever value you got by 100, then times it by 10.
Or I could just multiply it by 0.1.
Either way, could someone give me 10% of that 1936 value?
Point. Aha, I see.
$131 million?
That'll do.
You said 10%, right?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, 131
Okay,
million.
so we've got $131 million to spend. So, Chile. Basically, so the first thing we need to decide is what does Chile need? So, we don't have any overseas commitments to deal with.
Battleships.
And we're just post-treaty period. So...
The silly battleships from World of Warships.
No.
Yes.
Is
I think...
this just on the Navy?
Just on the Navy.
We can't do shit.
What do you mean we can't do shit?
Oh.
Any naval buildup is going to start a land war with Argentina.
Yeah, but those are fun.
I mean...
You don't like fighting in areas with zero infrastructure?
No, it's not.
It probably will, actually.
The Argentinians...
There's already raised tensions at this point.
I mean, the Argentinians can't really do anything. The fortifications favour Chile. No amount of fighting could enable the Argentinians to
War's
push.
still not preferable.
I mean...
Is it
But
ever?
the issue is that the South American treaties come out of Argentina being ready to
assume
throw
Argentina
down.
will not go to war.
Okay, so assuming... Yeah, look, Wellesley wants to know if we've given this amount of money, what can we buy? let's...
Nothing.
Okay, so...
Because you can't buy battleships because of the treaties.
No, you can buy
No.
but I discussed this with... Like, you can buy battleships and cruisers and destroyers as long as they are within treaty limits. Same thing with carriers.
We're not talking about the naval treaties fleet of
No.
the major powers.
No, yeah.
We're talking about the treaties that came out of the South American dreadnought race.
There were no treaties that ended the South American. There was a treaty that ended the pre-dreadnought race, but there was no.
There was a whole bunch of agreements that ended
No, there weren't. There were no
the arms race.
No, yes, that was the pre-dreadnought arms race. There were no agreements that ended the dreadnought era arms race. They all just kind of stopped and decided to not. There's no
Hear me out.
There's no binding agreements that keep the powers from engaging in any more naval construction. So I'm thinking probably what we want is, so I want a pair of light carriers, about 12,000 tons. And I want a pair of fast capital units to escort them. Probably
Great, so-
armed with 9 14-inch guns, or 8 14-inch
Sweet.
guns, depending on which I prefer, 4 twins or 3 triples. Yep.
Hear me out. Instead of doing that, you just buy $131 million worth of Benham class destroyers from the United States.
I'm not going to have the men for that.
Just buy a bunch of destroyers. It's fine.
Basically, I want a pair of carriers. I want a pair of fast units to escort them. Probably no.
What carriers are you getting at this point is the problem.
I can buy from any of the treaty powers I want, and I probably want to buy something from all of them.
When
What are they
they're not
building?
buying from Japan.
No, Japan has the yard space. They're just not using it.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
No, they do.
They don't. Their yards are basically maxed out by their own plans.
No,
Okay,
they're not.
Like,
no,
to make these ships,
They're not.
the reason why to make these ships would have to mean they would have to delay their own.
No, they
Okay,
wouldn't.
look,
I've
you're
literally-
talking past each other. Japan has the physical slipways. Japan does not have the industry backing the slipways. The component manufacturers are at capacity.
If we can get components from elsewhere, we can build these ships in Japan.
You're not getting components from elsewhere, though. Not really.
Hear me out. Brooklyn's and destroyers.
This is not
Yeah,
post-war.
basically.
Well, no, I'm gonna buy. Oh, I
Well,
want
if
to.
I'd
Whether
actually,
you or
I'd
me,
actually say
wouldn't
try and
it?
get. I'd actually try and get Leanders or towns.
Honestly, no. I'm gonna square the circle. If I'm buying light cruisers, I'm gonna basically. This is about the same time like Argentina's ordered, so I'm gonna say I want like 6 derivatives of what the Argentinians are ordering as their training cruiser, but not as a training cruiser.
But why
How'd you
when the
want that?
town class exists?
Because
Yeah.
I don't need a town class, quite frankly.
Yes, but
They will be
this
so much
logic,
better than a La Argentina for future proofing.
A, much better future proofing, and B, you're Chile. Beyond a certain point, you don't need a big navy.
True.
The
But I
point.
mean, and
Because I'm
also,
sorry. No. Let me finish. What's having a pair of light carriers going to get you that a pair of 3, 4, 5, 8, 12 are these sort of price ranges of land-based medium bombers that can carry torpedoes won't get you?
basically,
Oh, and they'll be used against the Argentinians.
oh, there's a reason why. But bear in mind, okay, all right. Would you? Okay, it's not about strike. The light carriers are not about strike. That's not what they're there for.
What are they there for?
They will have a limited
That's nothing.
capability to do strike, but ideally I want a light carrier that can do about 28 knots, that's small, that can carry about 30 aircraft at a push in its hangar, 20 fighters, and like 10 scout strike aircraft. It's there to provide organic capability to the fleet in terms of strike and, but most importantly, fighter and reconnaissance to the fleet. That's what
Why?
they're there. That's what they're.
So-
Because Because
It's South America.
Because it's infinitely better. If I have this money to spend, I am absolutely giving my fleet organic aviation. It is one of the biggest enablers to a fleet in this period. To have organic aviation under the direct control of the Admiral and not having to call for it from land. The Italians proved that in the Mediterranean. The British
but the Italians are a first-rate power. You're not.
Here's a question. Also, just doesn't mind it. When is this set exactly?
936.
What month?
It doesn't. What? Why does
So
that
are we
matter?
assuming first? Because La Argentina, Chile has no knowledge of yet.
Yeah.
If it's the first of the first 1936, La Argentina is completely an unknown. It's not even been the bidding war hasn't even been finished yet.
Okay,
There are no known specifications as she starts construction later than this.
Okay, right. So then, right, let's go back to brass tacks. We are Chile. We are building a fleet. What naval threats does Chile face?
Our rivals in Argentina, and of course Brazil as well. And we have the opportunity here to gain total
So
overmatch against them.
a land war and a land war.
Well, there's no land war against Brazil. We don't share a border with Brazil.
Yeah, but we don't share an ocean with Brazil.
We don't share an. That's not. That's not.
So
you do not understand how this.
I do. I'm running it through you. So,
You do
right,
not.
fleet. Fundamentally, what is our threat navally?
At long distance, any of the major powers in terms of shit anyone can rock up and ruin our day. We need deterrence against that. And in terms of short range, Argentina or Brazil.
Right. Short range, Argentina against Brazil. By me, boy, Japan is, until 43, massively out of range of Galapagos.
And, well, Galapagos isn't even something we own. That's a Peruvian
It's
possession.
part of Chile.
No, it's an Ecuadorian possession.
Yeah, it's a contested one.
Easter Island is something we own.
Yeah. So, that would mean our main threat is Peru, Ecuador, and Argentina.
We're already overmatched against Peru.
I'm already overmatched against Ecuador.
Well, overmatched. Ecuador doesn't even have a fucking navy.
Exactly. They do have a couple of destroyers, if I remember correctly.
No. Our rivals are Chile, are Argentina, and Brazil. Like, it doesn't matter that the Straits of Magellan are between us and them. You're fundamentally misunderstanding the fact that this is both sides have the capability to threaten the other navally because of the way in which these distances work.
Do they though?
Yes, they do. Otherwise, they wouldn't have fucking built fleets historically to deal with each other if they didn't feel fucking
Fleets are
threatened.
as much a dick measuring contest, and between Chile and Argentina were dick measuring contests over the southern parts of Patagonia and the island south of Patagonia.
Well then,
If you want to operate an aircraft carrier in those regions, you have land bases.
I cannot. I actually cannot.
I'm talking about carriers specifically.
We are
here.
literally missing the forest for the trees here. The whole point of this question isn't what's realistic, it's what we can buy to make a Chilean fleet that is suitable for all of their needs and is absolutely overkill.
Yeah, so first we've got to figure out what their needs are.
Carriers, modern fast battleships, cruisers, destroyers,
need a carrier?
submarines. For fleet air defense, reconnaissance, and strike.
Remember, this is a one-time cash injection. So they've got to
Yes.
maintain this.
I don't think this is the one. Every single one of these questions has not been a one-time cash injection.
It has.
Before. No, it
It
hasn't.
Usually,
No, it hasn't.
unless apart from the times where it's been infinite, it normally has been they are given this lump sum of money for this year.
Wellesley, is this a one-time cash injection or is this an ongoing thing? You're in the chat.
Because if they just get this every single year,
Well, okay, 1 year. Okay,
1 year cash. So
okay. That
So,
okay.
so it
that
has to be somewhat realistic that they can sustain.
So
which
in
is
that,
why
so
I'm
in
looking
that
at
case,
town class.
so in that case, then, I'm sending Almirante Latore back for a full rebuild, increased elevation, modern fire control, complete rebuild of a secondary battery, complete refreshment of her engines. She's going back to the UK for a full workover.
Didn't she already have this?
No, she didn't. She had a minor refit. She didn't get her engines refreshed. She didn't get a full reach. She didn't get a rework.
Are you pulling a Congo on her?
Not quite. It's more like I'm pulling a QE / Warspite on her.
Hear me out.
Then I am gonna buy a pair of I am gonna buy a pair of I'm gonna go to the Italians. I'm gonna basically buy derivatives, slightly more powerful derivatives of what they bought of the Italians. But with 8 7.5-inch guns rather than 6, and thicker armor. Because they were decent cruisers. The Argentinians found to be very effective and long-lived.
Or, hear me out. I looked it up. You could buy 12 Brooklyn class light cruisers and have money left over.
Probably buy 3 then. Refit Almirante, so rebuild Almirante Latore, completely refresh her, and make her fit for the modern era.
The cost in $1936 of a Brooklyn is $11 million.
Then buy 3 Brooklyns, which completely overmatches anyone else's cruisers, even the Argentinian
machine gun.
Yeah, even the Argentinian heavy cruisers, quote unquote. Buy 2 flotillas.
Class heavy cruisers too. They cost $12 million each.
Yeah.
If you're operating in the Southern Ocean, you're going to need tribals at this time.
No, the Chileans found the destroyers they had perfectly serviceable for that, and they were much smaller than tribals.
Yeah, but if you're looking for blue water operations,
no, they were
in the Southern Ocean.
They were blue water operations capable. You're vastly overstating the effect the oceans have on ships of this size, especially navally. Tribals are not a requirement for this sort of environment.
Hear me out. Like I already said, Venom class American destroyers.
The tribals are better at this point.
I mean, honestly, but they're better as anti-surface assets. They're not general purpose destroyers at all. They're far too expensive and far too single focused. They're not really what I want.
But they're built for these types of seas.
No, they're not.
They're built for North Atlantic and Arctic operations, as per Dr. Clark's book.
Yesn't.
So, which would imply that southern Chile is a part of the Southern Ocean. It gets bad down there.
I am aware of that. However, the thing that you're forgetting is that it's more a capability of being able to fight down there rather than being able to sail down there. With a normal destroyer, you're perfectly capable of sailing down there in basically any weather except a storm that would sink any ship. Whereas with a tribal, unless the seas are really bad, you can probably fight down there.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I'd rather have 12 general purpose destroyers than 8 tribals.
You've got the money to get 16 tribals and walk away with a lot in your pocket.
I'd rather... Okay. Oh, I don't want tribals. Tribals are far too specialized. I'm sick of tribals.
You can despecialize them.
I'm sick of tribals being bigged up as this all-singing, all-dancing destroyer when they're fucking not. They're overblown to shit.
Alright, so... I don't know what the conversion of pounds to dollars was in 1936, but it's a 200,000 difference between buying a Benham and a tribal. The pound was what, like $2 in 1936?
More than that, I think.
All right, so you're talking about a destroyer that's over $1 million?
doing the modern calculation to the modern pound, it's about...
Yeah, but this isn't the modern pound. This is the pound sterling in 1936.
Yeah, so I'm doing the conversions now. You're looking about 900,000
Okay, so
for a large destroyer.
the
That has
Benhams
upgrade
were
potential.
750,000.
Honestly, I think
Yeah.
I think I'll square the circle. By 2 flotillas of tribals and 3 flotillas of Bensons. So that way you've got your expeditionary destroyers and your destroyer. Basically, your tribals are your destroyer leaders. 2 flotillas of 4 tribals as leaders, and then 3 flotillas of Bensons as your general purpose destroyers for fleet escort work. And then funnel the rest of the money. Honestly, you know what? I would probably, because then that means, and then if we put money, because I know Chile had a limited ability to manufacture aircraft domestically. If we put money into trying to buy some single-engine seaplanes / flying boats domestically, the reason I want to do that is I want to encourage a domestic aircraft production that I can then lean on. We already have submarines, funnily enough, and actually we've got enough. I don't need to expand the fleet. We've got enough to be a full flotilla. It's not so much. I'm calling them leaders. They're not really. They're just larger destroyers. Basically, if I'm sending destroyers to engage other destroyers, I'm sending the tribals. If I need destroyers for escort work, I'm sending the Bensons. That's the distinction here.
Fucking
If I'm
5-inch 38s. You can put 40 millimeters on them when they become available.
Yeah.
You can put 20 mils on them. And fun fact, it's not Benson, it's the Benham. It's
Yeah.
an earlier destroyer. It has 4 quad racks of fucking torpedoes.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
2
this
per
is-
side of quad racks.
Yeah, this is the thing. If I need, Foxo's right. When it comes to destroyer on destroyer action, basically nothing in World War II beats a tribal. So having 8 of them for that sort of work is not bad. But if
I
I
wouldn't
want,
say that. The late Fletchers would quite happily batter a tribal.
Sumners would fucking murder a tribal.
fair enough.
And the
But-
Gearings.
But at this point, yeah. But when it comes to regular escort work, the 5-inch 38's unbeaten at this point as a. Yes, Petch. The 40mm L60 Bofors is available in 33, but it is still at this point a bespoke weapon that costs an arm and a leg. There's a reason so few are procured in the 30s by various militaries around the world, because they cost an arm and a leg to fucking buy for what they are. But yeah, and you know what? Honestly, I will. You know what? Actually, 36. Hang on, 1 second. I'm gonna check something. Shit.
Hmm.
Fuck.
Yes, fleet.
She's gone.
What's gone?
Tiger. She's
Oh, the battle cruiser.
She's long gone by this point.
British people and their goddamn battle cruisers. I swear.
Fuck. I was thinking, could I buy her as a second capital asset on the cheap? And the British won't part with Iron Duke.
Bro, you have between
If you
4
offer
and
the Royal Navy
6
money
Brooklyns.
for her.
You're good.
I mean, right, Fleet. Remember, the Royal Navy didn't get rid of Iron Duke because the scrapyards were offering them nothing for her.
But they kept her as a... Well, I thought they kept her deliberately as a choice between her and Tiger as a gunnery training ship.
Yeah, but that's because they couldn't get a good price for her. So
So,
they just kept her around.
wait, so, yeah, she's... Oh, yeah. She's...
Because
so-
remember, with the Scout, in the era of the scrapping of the 12-inch and the older 13.5s, the scrap value was so low, the Royal Navy was having to pay scrapyards to take ships.
Of course. Wait a minute, if I...
Oof.
Wait, if I... Yeah, if I...
Bye, EA.
No. If I pay, I could get a unified class of 2 ships. if I pay for Iron Duke and have her undergo the same rebuilding work that Almirante La Torre is undergoing, including swapping the 13.4s for 14s, since Vickers is still a going concern and it can supply... It is an old design, but they can supply the same guns. Or a modernized version of the same... Or guns that can use the same ammunition as the 14-inch guns that I already have. At that point, I could get a pair of similar ships with 10 14-inch guns that could form the core of my fleet. 4 Brooklyns, 8 Tribals, 12 Benhams.
That's a lot of torpedoes.
Plus,
That's a lot of Benham torpedoes.
Plus the submarines we already have. Plus a land-based aviation component of flying boats and float planes. Question: Do I buy a small seaplane tender?
See, that's the most reasonable fucking aircraft decision I've heard you make so far. A seaplane tender would actually be reasonable.
Just to act as a scout for the fleet.
Like, that's actually reasonable.
Yeah, buy a small seaplane tender. Yeah, that would work. That would probably work. Right.
I mean, you don't need anything else. You have Brooklyns. They'll just murder everything.
Yeah. And if the Brooklyns can't murder anything, they've got 2 fully rebuilt modern 14-inch armed capital ships rocking up going, so, heard you bullying our cruisers.
You've got 12 Benhams.
Yeah.
They run at you. They fire 8 torpedoes per side. They all turn around and fire another 8 torpedoes and then go home.
Yeah. Anything you want
The
to add,
ocean is torpedo.
Yeah. Anything you want to add, Foxo?
Also, because they're built with fucking 4 quad launchers of torpedoes. You can pull those off and add more shit to them without making them return stupidly over top heavy. Because you can just pull off torpedo launchers. Which is what the U.S. Navy did to them in World War II, is they just pulled 2 of the torpedo launchers off and just slapped a bunch of AA on it.
Right. Okay, next question then. Channel asks, for Dragon, Republic or Imperial 1 class is the main capital line unit for a high mobility roaming fleet operated by the New Republic, a la 5th Fleet. Dragon? You there? Earth to Dragon. Hello?
Well, if he's not going to answer, I'll answer it. Imperial 1's because of hangar space.
And the expeditionary capability.
Like, the Imperial 2s are straight battleships. The Imperial 1s are, like, supersized Wasp class in space.
Yeah, they kind of are, yeah.
They're literally amphibious assault ships.
Yeah,
with battleship guns.
They kind of are, now that I think about it, yeah.
That's what the Imperial 1 is.
Yeah, it's not really a line of battleship, is it? Not really.
It doesn't... 80 turbo lasers. That's cool. It's a big ship to only have 80 turbo lasers, bro.
Yeah.
Imperial 1s are big.
They are.
And you look at the hangar space inside of it, and like, oh man, there's a bunch of walkers and a bunch of stormtroopers in there. Crazy.
And all the land, and of course, a fully flat pack base.
Yeah, like it's an amphibious assault ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, Star Wars is weird. I don't like it. I like 40K better. It makes more sense.
Wow, that's a phrase.
It literally has space magic.
If
oh
Dragon,
man, it doesn't make sense. Space magic. Don't worry about it.
If Dragon gets back to us, then
back.
we can we'll come back to this question. Admiral Wellesley asks, now that the scouting force of the First Galactic Empire has been defeated with overwhelming force, it's a reference to a previous question where the Galactic Empire sent in a force to the Star Trek galaxy. They've now sent a fleet. 10,000 ISDs, each with a squadron of cruisers as escort, 12 executors, all that remains, have also been sent, with the space station is the size of a tiny moon or particular asteroid known as Death Star 2 also being sent over. The Klingons now refuse to assist, as the Federation's fleet is now focusing on border conflicts with the Gorn and the Romulans. 15% of the fleet is available. Excelsior is not currently available. The majority of ships available are of the last generation. How do we deal with this threat? Throw 15% of the Federation fleet at it and watch the Galactic Empire die a horrible death. You do realize how much
Star Wars
you
shields
do,
are not great.
Yeah, you do realize how much 15% of the Federation fleet is, right? That is the Federation.
Even if it's just fucking Mirandas at people, that's a lot of Mirandas.
Yeah,
like that's the force that would give a 40k Crusade fleet pause.
Yeah, like 10,000 ISDs, 12 executors, and the Death Star 2 is just gonna, like, they might succeed at first, but then the ships will keep coming. And coming.
It's called boss. It's not proton torpedoes, but it's the singularity ones.
Yeah, it's just
that just Star Wars ships don't have defenses. Yes, yeah. Star Wars ships just don't against singularities, from what I found.
Like 40k ships would just tank them with sheer size. Like, it's kind of hard to break them. They're too big. Like, first off, they have shields, which work in a way that no shields in any of their fucking sci-fi work.
Yeah, but this
basically magic.
Yeah, like,
and then they're fucking 20 miles long.
Yeah, you said 50% of the fleet, and as soon as I saw that, I went, I don't think you realize quite how big the Federation Starfleet actually is.
Yeah, it's like if you go off conventional sci-fi rules, the Federation is one of the strongest factions, even under strength, in any sci-fi.
Like, they didn't even use the majority of the fleet in the Dominion War because they had other shit they had to do.
Yeah. And
they were in an existential war against the Dominion, and they didn't even deploy the majority of the fleet because they were busy.
Well, they stripped the other fronts down to the bone and lost quite a lot on the other fronts in return. So they did mobilize.
They pulled a lot of Mirandas out of mothballs.
Yeah. And the only sci-fi universes that can fight the Federation on this sort of battle are ones like Warhammer, who cheat.
Damn right. It's not cheating if everybody does it, though.
Doctor Who, where timey-wimey shit.
Yeah.
And just how many big words can we put in the description of something?
Literally magic pretending to be science.
Yeah, Daleks just have the ability to wipe you out from the timeline so you never existed and change the entire universe because you never existed. The atoms that made you up never existed.
At least in 40k we admit that there's fucking magic.
Yeah, shit, like the culture in the Xenoverse are so far out there. It's like, in a conventional fight, the mortality gets fucked hard.
Like, if you actually want, like, realistic sci-fi, you look at Stargate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the case. Yeah.
Even then, that's pretty...
That's pretty out there sometimes, too. But it's the most grounded of the sci-fis, let's be honest here.
Yeah. Right, okay. So...
mainly because they don't have spaceships for fucking 5 seasons.
Yeah. Right, so...
Yeah, but then you look at some of the stuff that the fucking Asgardians and the Ancients pull off, and you're just like...
What the fuck
Space magic.
It's like...
That's magic.
Yeah, it's like...
That's just magic.
It's like, yes, our ships will dive through the fucking sun to refuel themselves.
No, they go, like, above the sun, alright? Calm down. Also, we don't talk about universe.
No, Destiny dives through fucking suns to refuel herself. That's what she does.
She doesn't go into the sun.
No, she does.
Skims the sun.
No,
and not even all the way.
No.
I watched the show, dude.
I did. She literally dived into the
it.
Yes, she does.
No.
You're misremembering. She skims. But
she skims the sun.
I'm more talking how long Atlantis survives in an ocean to the point part of her is buried in tectonic rock. That she hasn't been ground down to paste by the planet that is volcanically active.
Well, bro, it's powered by mini universes in a can. All right, don't worry about it.
Right, well, see, the issue with the early Federation is human tech was not that great. You have the fucking Vulcans right there.
Being dicks.
Yeah, and it's like, you're too much fed to the Federation, the Vulcans take the gloves off.
And the Andorians.
Yeah, it's like...
That when the Vulcans and the Andorians stop fighting each other to fight you, you're fucked.
And it's like...
The Andorians hate Vulcans.
Yeah, it's... The best way I've heard the Federation described is a whole bunch of adults that have been united around a child saying hello. Because if we talk about the human side of the Federation, it's a different fight. But the Federation's not humanity.
No, we've got like 4 colonies that are specifically human colonies.
Yeah.
We're just, I guess, better at, hey, guys, sit the fuck down and talk, all right? Stop shooting each other. We're better at making everyone sit down and talk than everybody else, I guess.
Oh, my favorite one is a quote from one of the extended material that Dragon showed us. It's, humans united the galaxy through suicidal empathy.
Oh my god, it sounds like women.
White women, yes.
Darwin, duck. Why? Gets her head cut off. Like, when I tell you to do something, just like do it and then ask questions later. Maybe. Hey, don't touch that. Why?
Right.
Okay, fine, touch it. Oh,
Okay.
you got electrocuted. That sucks.
Right. Moving on.
Like,
Okay.
I
Okay.
just want to point something out. Just to make the point
I,
clear.
I don't have time.
Okay. So
not true.
here's the
It's
last thing
Sunday.
I'll point out. The thing about the Federation is it's not very militarized.
Depends on the year.
Yeah, but you look at some of the mega structures they build, and you're like,
Starbase 1.
yes, Earth Space Dock.
It's
Yeah,
literally like,
Starbase 1.
Yeah,
literally.
so I know.
Yeah, it's literally like you're literally going like as Thra says during the whole thing. Do not push the pink skins to the thin ice.
Yeah.
I love that guy. He plays so many characters in fucking
Do
Star
not
Trek.
push the pink skins to the thin ice.
But it's that sort of the Federation. Every war it fights, aside from some of the, is it the 27th century stuff?
Like,
Yeah.
like Klingon stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, is under peacetime conditions.
Even the Dominion War, for fuck's sake. They're literally about to get into the early stage of mobilization when it ends. They are mobilizing, but it ends before they actually fully mobilize.
End of the war.
Honestly, the best comparison would be pre-World War I America, where they're trying to mobilize.
Yeah.
They haven't built the systems or organized it or built some of these specialized industries to actually mobilize and field an army overseas.
Yeah, they're working on it. Right.
But
Yeah,
when they
but then
build
but-
it,
Yeah.
But they've got they're pre World War One. It's
Two-
World War One America, but with the Navy of the end of World War II America already.
Yeah.
That's what the Federation is.
Yeah. Right, okay. Chandler Chandler asks, why is it that when a Chaos Legion is given a loyalist marine, they're always contempt to pattern dreadnoughts? It's a question directed to Ruron, and she's not here, sadly. So I guess,
say the question again.
why is it that when a Chaos Legion is given a loyalist marine, they're always contempt to pattern dreadnoughts?
Okay, I'm gonna guess they're talking Horus Heresy. And
That would be my
contempt to
guess.
pattern dreadnoughts,
Because they're gone now.
the vast majority of them remember the Legion before the Primarch. And a lot of them were either hand-created or served alongside the Emperor himself.
Yeah, most of the Contemptors were created on Terra with the original Legion.
Like, contempt to dreadnoughts were built to last. They were
And-
not
well,
burn
they
out
weren't.
and die.
Well, they weren't, but that's because
They just
dreadnoughts weren't
did.
actually designed to last that long. It's in the Horus Heresy era. But
Especially not the new Primaris ones.
again,
That burnout rate.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean, then again,
you're not
look
getting
at
any
some-
10,000-year-old fucking space wolves.
Then again, look at some of the fucking big dreadnoughts from 30k era, and you're like, just given a paraplegic a mech suit and told you'll die in 50 years. Kill.
Yeah, you're giving a paraplegic an
that.
Imperial Knight, more or less.
He do that, and he do kill. He do be doing the kill. He killing at rates beyond ability to stop.
But Contemptors, because they're very early in when dreadnoughts were manufactured, they're not particularly good dreadnoughts by 30k standards in combat capabilities, and they put a lot less strain on the marine side. B, they were used early on in the heresy, because the famous one, right, is Valinor.
Ah, my
The
boy.
famous one's Valinor. The reason Valinor does not fall to chaos with it's Logar, isn't it? Is the shitter.
God, I hate Logar.
Yeah, doesn't fall.
Fucking Logar? No. I hate Erebus and fucking Corphaeron. Those two fuckers caused the fall of the Imperium.
Fuck Logar.
Yeah, but Logar's the idiot who wrote the fucking book.
Yes. Anyway, and it's because Valinor remembers that the Legion before it fell, he is disgusted by the things it becomes.
That's why he's the Ancient of
Younger-
Rights dog.
Yeah.
Also,
Hence-
politely, I have to do a shout out to our boy Valinor. Hey, Fulgrim, look at me. Bitch.
Yeah.
Pulls trigger of the virus bomb.
Fulgrim. Yes, but it's Fulgrim, isn't it? Not Logar. Logar's the other one.
Fucking Fulgrim.
I always get them confused because they're both fucking twats.
Logar wrote stupid books.
Fulgrim became shitty snake.
likes his pretty hair like a little lady.
Yeah. Fulgrim became shitty snake, and if you believe certain cartoons on the internet, also became tiny snake. I like how you both know exactly what I'm referring to.
Yes.
Not he.
But to answer the question, actual question, it's a case of the Contemptors were the ones that are around when they had an alternative. And the Contemptors really fucking hate what a lot of the Primarchs became. Like, from what we know, one of the few people who has survived telling Perturabo post-heresy to sit down and shut up is a Contemptor Dreadnought. The only other person to tell Angron that is not what's the name
Commander
from
of the
Conqueror. What's the name from Conqueror? To shut up and go away is a Contemptor Dreadnought.
Another reason why they're always Contemptors is Contemptors were the most common pattern of Dreadnought in the heresy.
Yeah, and it's just most of the Contemptors remember before the Primarchs, like Bjorn. Wait, no.
No, Bjorn's iron. Bjorn is, I believe, an ironclad.
He's
Yes,
like the
but-
ancient fucking ironclad.
But he's just old.
Yes, but
I mean,
he's
he was
pre-finding-
then.
Anyway,
He's pre-finding
No,
of
2000. It was 2000 years later.
Yeah.
He got something like over 2000 years after he got entombed in a dreadnought.
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Entombed in, but not born.
Anyway, so Chandler. So I think we're pretty much done. Can we move on to the next question?
Mhm.
Chandler or Chandel, what Chaos God would the Sith worship, directly or indirectly? They wouldn't. They would worship Chaos Undivided, because literally the Sith are quite literally the epitome of Chaos Undivided.
Very neutral. Pick a fucking side.
No,
fucking Iron Warriors.
No, they literally have the wrath of Khorne, the planning of Tzeentch, the degradation physically that Nurgle tends to espouse, given the way Sith power and the dark side degrades a body's physical form, and the fucking
They like spiky dildos.
no, and they take pleasure in inflicting suffering, which fucking Slanesh literally is.
That's
So yeah, they literally
kind of
it's
miscategorization of the
it's
Sith.
not
Because
it's
because realistically, it's what cult of the Sith.
Yes.
well, when it's the rule of two, they're all of them. So
No, not really. 'Cause then rule of two, it depends which Sith.
Yes. I also, can we choose between fantasy chaos or 40k chaos?
I'm assuming
Ooh,
40K.
that's a good
I'm
point.
Oh, can
Yeah.
we not?
Because
Can we not go into
No,
this question
because-
this deeply?
there's one god in fantasy that the Sith would be followers of.
If you say
Yeah, the one
Malal,
that
I'm
doesn't
going
e-
to kill you.
The one that doesn't exist in 40k.
Uh, Nagash.
God of the
They've
Dead.
got the betrayal, the
Nagash
backstabbing,
is
the
not-
quest for immortality, the physical degradation, the use. They also use the undead.
Nagash is not a
These-
chaos god.
No, he is not. He's a god. He's not a chaos god.
But he's chaos aligned-ish.
No, he's not.
No.
But he's
Yes.
A, he's close
no.
enough.
No, he's
And
not.
B-
No, I'm shutting this down. He's not a
He wants
chaos
to
god.
kill the
he's-
mortal realms.
No,
Yeah.
he doesn't.
Yes.
No.
He wants.
He-
Yes.
No.
Not fucking chaos god,
No,
but whatever.
He wants to kill everyone in the mortal realms, so they become undead, so he can rule over them and it can be ordered. He doesn't want to destroy the mortal realms. He doesn't want to
That's
hand it
actually
over to
debatable. There's a number of
chaos.
bits of mortal realm he does want to physically destroy.
Are you forgetting the fucking end times fleet?
The end.
Because that's what he.
They
does.
ended. They ended.
Where
Warhammer
Nagash,
Fantasy's
basically
timeline.
helps literally kill the entire planet because, well,
Fuck you! If you can't, if I can't have it, you can't have it.
They Games Workshop ended the did end times and ended the storyline for Warhammer
Oh,
Fantasy.
which then,
And then they
leads you
brought it
to
back.
leads you to Age of Sigma. Age of Sigma's death effectively then results in Warhammer: The Old World.
And then Sigma 2, that's actually starting to do pretty well.
Yes.
Is it?
because
Whoa,
we actually
hold on,
had time.
hold on,
Never a
hold on,
fantasy
hold
guy-
on, hold on,
Warhammer
hold on.
Fantasy guys. though.
Whoa. Sigma is now dead. When did
Yes.
that happen?
Now we're Sigmar
End
2,
time.
apparently.
End times.
No. Sigma didn't
No,
die
no,
in
no,
the
no,
end times.
no, are you talking? No, we're talking about
Which
Age of
Sigma?
Sigma. Are we talking about the
Right.
setting or the actual god? Because Sigma's still alive in Age of Sigma.
But he
Right.
did also die at one point, which is how he comes
Yes, but dying gods don't die in Warhammer. Either of them.
Anyway,
Now these get split apart and used as power sources in fucking pyramids.
Also, good
Laughing
choice,
Necron.
Petch, but I prefer the Telemon.
Although
we do
the old ones are dead.
very,
No,
very.
but I know. But can I just make one last point about Nagash?
Okay, yes.
And being patron of the Sith. Nagash pulling that hole in the end times. If I can't have it, you can't have it. Let's go fuck yourself. I'm blowing this up. Is peak Sith,
Yeah, kind of.
Old Republic Sith. So next question.
Okay, right. So we're gonna have to go back. So for Dragon, very quickly, Dragon only answering. For Dragon, Republic class or Imperial 1 class is the mainline capital unit for a high mobility roaming fleet operated by the New Republic, a la 5th Fleet.
Well, the Imperial, because it's got vastly superior capabilities overall.
Thank you.
Well, it's overall.
thank you. No.
No, this is a proper question.
No.
Remember,
We've
fleet.
already answered
Remember,
this
it's called fleet.
question.
Well,
when
no, I
you
never
weren't
cut.
here.
I never cut off your questions.
We've-
Never cut any of your stuff short.
We don't have time today.
We
You say
answered the
this every
question the
time.
same way that you did, though.
No, this is just more my point of any time it's a question me and Foxo enjoy, you cut it short.
No, but we don't.
Yeah, this is a notable pattern. So very well, just let this be another example known.
The thing is, we answered this question earlier. I just wanted your
And
opinion. We answered this
We
question
gave the same
earlier.
answer.
Yeah.
No, it's more just a typical. It's a more cotton pattern that's more amusing to bring up here. I don't really care about the question as much because I can't have answer, but it's more caboose that Fleet says he doesn't do this yet. There is a notable pattern of when me and Foxo have fun with a question, he will cut it short. If Fleet's enjoying a question, no matter how many people say move on, he'll continue it.
It's my show.
Yeah, I just want to bring up the hypocrisy of where you say you don't do that.
Anyway.
It is your show. It is very true.
He
Brandon,
pays the
point out the
$0.99 for the server, so you know.
Brandon Larson asks, "Oh no, oh
yeah.
no,
He doesn't like it. I'm already happy.
no. This is just the chaos. The chaos. What if the entire modern-day Chinese Navy, fully crewed and with full fuel and ammunition stocks, were sent back in time to World War One? They single-handedly topple part of China, set themselves up as the as the People's Republic of China, and set about gradually integrating / conquering the rest of China.
It lasts 6 years before all of their ships are sunken on the bottom of the ocean because they can't maintain them.
No, they don't even do that. Like, that's not even...
No,
like
the modern Chinese Navy can't maintain their ships.
No, they can't. But what they can do is, while they're still alive, they can set themselves up in part of China and become the Chinese Communist Party / the People's Republic of China way ahead of schedule, and become another very heavily armed warlord competing for Chinese control. Probably take over the Guangxi Clique. It's one of the more industrial parts of China. And have that be their base of operations.
Ugh, I hate it.
Yeah, which would probably mean that the Chinese Civil War would be even more bloody than it already was in the interwar period. Whether or not they've gained control over most of China, it's hard to say.
I like that the chat has just devolved into posting dreadnought pictures.
This do be a dreadnought maxing moment, not gonna lie.
Just because it's a bigger patch does not mean it is a siege dreadnought. Honestly, the fact they call them siege dreadnoughts is false because it doesn't match any of the standard siege patterns we see for dreadnoughts. It literally doesn't mount any siege guns or siege weapons. Therefore, it is not a siege weapon by 40k standards.
Where's the rock grinder on the fucking arm so I can just tear into the walls?
It's
like
all, if anything,
like the ironclad dreadnought is a siege dreadnought.
It would be better. Yes, but it would be better to call it the Saturnine Bombardment Dreadnought because it's got either a bloody huge cannon, a twin-linked heavy disintegrator, a graviton pulverizer, or an inversion beam. Most of these are either area effect bombardment or that person in particular is dying.
It's not. I'm walking up to your walls, and
no,
my armor's too good for you. So I'm gonna chew into your wall, and when I can't chew through the wall anymore, I'm gonna hit it with my Melta inside my fucking rock crusher.
The Leviathan Siege Dreadnought is the ones which have the Siege Claw or Siege Drill.
Because literally, there's nothing says fuck you than going with a massive fucking rotatey bit.
Nothing says fuck you like General Electric
on an
making
extra bit to make
spin.
it sound cooler.
Right. Actually, Dragon, it looks like we're gonna... I didn't realize we had this little question, so we will actually come back to that Dread Republic and Imperial 1 question. So yeah, we will actually come back to that. I thought we had more questions than we did. So yeah, we absolutely do have the time. I thought we had like 20 more questions. We only have like 3 more. Whoops. We will come back
you're
to
as bad with numbers as I am with letters.
You do know who I am, right? I'm like maths. We don't do maths here.
I already said I don't do math in public.
You literally did better than I would. You should Minecraft Watcher. Which of these 8 will the panel choose to own? 1 for each person. You'll be granted the money and infrastructure to maintain and use it. Richelieu, Littorio, Renown, Wisconsin, Scharnhorst, Yamato, Deflinger, Congo. Honestly, I am a sucker for a classical battle cruiser. Deflinger. I am a sucker for it. I am a sucker for
that was only put on there just because you would go with it.
Look, I like Deflinger, okay? I kind of like how she looks.
Yeah, no, I'm just pointing out that I'm pretty sure, like, as soon as that was on it, it's obvious that, yeah, you would go with that one.
I'm just thinking how much of a peasant. Like, do you know how much you could extort Japan for money
With
with a
Yamato.
original condition mint Yamato class.
Yes. Okay. I've got to ask the Dutchman.
Give that to the Kure Museum and
Yeah. The Dutchman.
Extort
Dutchman.
money.
Oh, no, Foxy, you rented out to them.
Yeah. Dutchman. I have to know which of these ships would you want?
What were the options again?
Richelieu, Littorio, Renown, Wisconsin, Scharnhorst, Yamato, Deflinger, Congo, and you get the money and infrastructure to maintain and use it.
Well, one of those is still floating.
This is true.
Hmm.
It's sitting in Norfolk Navy Yard.
Now I'm going.
You're going with
Congo.
ooh, 2 battle cruisers for 2. Very nice. Caboose.
I'm gonna go off the list. I want one of the South Dakotas that no longer exists.
I mean, it's fair enough.
Could also go for renown.
I can't pick Wisconsin. Wisconsin's in fucking Norfolk. It's still there.
Go for a ship that you like, Foxo, or extort money? That is the question.
Because the issue is
Extort money.
that I could probably extort money from the Imperial War Museum if I had renown.
True.
That's true.
The issue is that the UK doesn't have a lot of money.
I
Japan
would-
has a lot of money.
I would extort the U.S. government to expand the
Foxo,
lock system
Dragon,
to let me take Indiana into the Great Lakes.
Foxo,
Yes, I'll be jumping over in a sec.
Yeah, I
once
was
I
going to
finish the
say,
question.
yeah. Once you do finish this question, you should probably jump over.
So, Foxo, your answer?
I think she's got to go with renown. She's expressed her love for the ship often enough.
Yamato.
What?
Going for the money, I
This
see.
doesn't surprise me, actually.
Dragon?
I would love to see the headlines coming out of China if Japan gets a Yamato back.
Going for the meme and the money.
Yeah,
I see
nice.
how it is.
Nice. Dragon, what have you got?
Well, then, since Foxo didn't choose Renown, I'd probably go with Renown.
Fair enough.
The other option, though, would actually be Richelieu. Mostly to have it in the British yards and laughing at
was-
the French.
I was torn between my 2 favorite German capital ships, Scharnhorst and Deflinger, but I decided that I'd much rather have something
Well-
that was not associated with Nazi tyranny.
I actually do like. Well, I wouldn't put it that. I would put it as a lesson to history, but I do like the Richelieu class. They're interesting. It's just they never really got a chance to do much.
I mean,
Honestly,
they are
if
arguably
Richelieu actually had defected to the UK
earlier.
at the start of war, I think
Yeah.
would have been very interesting. Yes, you've now got another fast capital ship. Probably swap
mean-
out the guns for. You probably would still want to either rebore or figure out a way to get the guns working with British shells. Probably change up the hoist a bit,
You
but
could probably, given that the British are building 15s, it's different. You probably, given how many 15-inch ships they have to supply, you probably could afford to, especially since if Richelieu is coming over, she can come. They probably would put the jigs and the plans aboard.
worst case scenario, you just take the old guns,
Probably.
the ones that would be used on Vanguard later.
They're
But
not
even
gonna
then, you've got more spare barrels than just that. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
also
you
they've got the turrets.
don't really need to. You've got, like I say, like you're building enough 15-inch rounds that you can afford to do limited production runs of 15-inch, of French 15-inch. Like as long as you've got the plans, like it's not like the US where they're trying to build a caliber they don't produce. Adapting to
Didn't
build
we-
French 15-inch shells and
Figure
powder.
it out though.
You did, but the difference is you are the US. You could throw shit tons of
That's
fucking
true.
capital at it to build a limited production run. Whereas for the British,
We
whereas for the
massive
British, it's a
bloody
lot
bullshit.
it's a lot easier for us to adapt to build limited runs of 15-inch shells, because it's a 15-inch shell. It's something we're building. The jigs are a lot easier to adapt, because it's the same caliber. The thing with shell production is its caliber. Like the length of the shell, like that's something that's far easier to
Well,
adapt
it's
to
also
than
weight.
caliber. Yeah, and weight as well. But the shells are not too dissimilar. Because the Richelieu shell, I think, is pretty light for a modern shell, which I think it's within shouting distance for actually the 15-inch 42 shell. So it shouldn't be too difficult. But yeah. So right, that's that question done. I think we're about to lose Dragon and Fox to the brew ships. So
And I'll
farewell.
stick around for the last 2.
Fair enough. Well, actually, no. Well, actually, Dragon, would you take this question with you? To brew ships? I'll answer it here as well, but Alex Clark
Oh,
would
wait,
know
then.
best.
Yeah.
Chandel Lord Chandel asks, is there a situation that drove Alex Clark close to picking, opening a fridge, extending an arm to a can, a beer? No. Because Dr. Clark
Doesn't drink
never
beer.
has done that. Yeah, he has never done that, ever. He does not drink. There are many cases he's reached for an iron brew, usually when I'm involved, but apart from that, no, he has no... Yeah, see? I was actually right about something. I knew I was right. Yeah, literally. Look, I was right. They are literally within shouting distance. It's only like it's only a 5 kilo difference. No, Petch. It's not rarely. He doesn't, as far as I'm aware. Yeah. Yeah, there you are.
Dr. Clark doesn't drink.
The only reason I don't drink is I'm too lazy to get alcohol from the store.
This man is beating alcoholism by applying lazy to it. What a guy.
That's how I quit smoking. I quit smoking because I didn't want to drive 40 miles to go get my cigarettes.
Success!
I quit smoking because I didn't want to go drive 40 miles to get Lucky Strike no filter.
Yeah. Nice. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 would quit smoking again.
It's literally how I fucking quit smoking. I was like, I'm too lazy to go get this shit.
Right. Bone Boy asks, was Vanguard built with the 15-inch guns from the Courageous class, or were some cancelled R class, or were some from the cancelled R class / Renown Repulse? She had the turrets, the turrets and the mountings were from Courageous and Glorious, but the guns just came from the pool of 15-inch 42 spares. The guns just came out of the spare pool. But the turrets and mountings were from Courageous and Glorious. And with that, catch-up ramblings be over. Thank you everyone for coming. I will be online for a bit longer, just trying to chill out a bit more because I've got to go back to work tomorrow, and I had a line this morning specifically so I could chill out. But before we go, I did promise that we would come back and give Dragon a bit more time. So, Dragon, do you want to expand on why the Imperial One is a better choice for a high-mobility roaming fleet operated by the New Republic? As a capital asset?
I need to very quickly check through 1 or 2 bits again, because as I recall... Does that even have that? So, the sheer fact that a Republic class carries 12 starfighters.
What?
The Republic class Star Destroyer carries 1 wing of starfighters. A wing in Star Wars is 12.
Bro.
Now they say a wing of long range starfighters, but
So they put a jump drive on it, like a fucking X-wing. Cool.
but X-wings already have that. But
Yeah, I mean, they just
in
threw
general,
X-wings on there.
if an Imperial, I would rather go with the 72 of a Star Destroyer any day, especially if you can give them hyperspace capable fighters, which the New Republic would and did. So, let alone if you then take out the internal storage for ground invasions, yeah. Like, there's so few times a Republic would actually do better than an ISD in this role. They even, I think, have the same hyperdrive, so it's not even faster. So overall, you're just getting a weaker ship on average. Even then, the Republic still carries 3,200 ground troops, so... Eh.
So the Empire did it better. Got it.
Yeah, the Empire often does things better. Oh god, they used the Defender Starfighter. Ew. No.
Bro.
Oh god.
Just stack the fucking Imperial one with A-wings.
Genuinely, like, Imperial ships with more advanced fighters are horrifying.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to fucking deal with 87 fucking A-wings. Are you kidding me? No, thank you.
If they've expanded the hangar bay a bit, you probably would. They would do it in squadrons of 12 again, so you would get 84. But still,
that's a lot of A-wings.
And even then, if you're doing that properly, you would go like 36 A-wings, and then a combination of other fighters on top of that. So stuff like bombers and what's called standard fighters, which can roll. But still,
Nice.
a lot of fighters.
Yes, indeed.
It's no Venator, but that's a lot. That's still
Yeah,
a
but you've
lot.
actually got decent gun power in comparison to a Venator.
Oh, that's just mean.
But it's the truth.
I mean, the Venator's an aircraft carrier. Calm down.
It is. I honestly say it is basically a Lexington class aircraft carrier.
It literally, it's
It's an aircraft carrier which they stuck almost capital ship grade guns on, which the Lexington's the closest you can get for that, realistically.
yeah.
So.
It's
Full of super heavy shells.
yeah, it's an aircraft carrying cruiser.
I wouldn't call it a cruiser, but yeah.
Right. Anyway, thank you everyone for coming. I'm gonna let Foxo and Dragon disappear to go and do brew ships. I am going to disappear back into Railroader probably for a little bit to have a bit of chill time before I go out to do other things, aka sleep.
I'm gonna go
before I
run your
to work.
trains all off the tracks.
Do not do that. Anyway, take care,
Too late,
everyone.
I may have already
already
done it. I did put one off the track. I need to
Yeah.
go fix that.